Dave Scott, Hub Media. It's the Leon's Charity Chat for May. Wow, 2024 already. We're hard at it. And I'm talking with Don from Lighthouse Festival Theatre, Marketing and Communications Manager. Don, it's great to see you. We go way back. Hope things are going well, buddy.
They are, and we do, yes, for sure.
We won't get into that today. We'll leave that for another day. But it's, you know, when I found out you had this job, I just want to give you a quick shout out. This is perfect for you. I love what you're doing there, and I love how the Festival Theatre is growing. Lighthouse Festival Theatre in Portover keeps growing. But I want to ask you about the shows you got coming this year. It's that time of year. Tell me what's going on.
Well, we're really excited about our shows this year, especially this season. I'm actually sitting in the theater, and we are we have this set for a community show behind us. So we're just that starts in April, but our main season starts in May on the 21st. And we're doing, we have 5 comedic plays that we're doing this year. And I think there's a variety of things for everybody to see. We have the New Canadian Curling Club, which is a play about 4 new Canadians who walk into a curling club and decide to join a Learn to Curl program. And, the coach that's there falls, injures herself. And so the sort of curmudgeonly ice guy who, is uncouth and, doesn't use the right language around people, et cetera, sort of takes over the team and sort of hilarity ensues. But it's a heartwarming comedy by Mark Crawford, who's done a number of plays. Is a very prolific Canadian playwright, and a number of comedic plays. We put on a number of them here as well. And I think it's a play that's funny, but with a really good message. So I'm really looking forward to that one kicking off our season.
And that starts May 21st, I see. So that's perfect, right? This is a good time. Now, quickly, let's just mention, how do you get tickets for this?
Lighthousetheatre.com. And you can just go there and you can buy a subscription. We have 5-show or 3-show subscriptions. And then you can buy single tickets for any shows that you like. We've got lots of matinees and evening shows as well.
That's cool. What else you got coming this summer?
We have one called The Hound of the Baskervilles, which is our 2nd show of the season. It's a Sherlock Holmes-based murder mystery comedy where 3 actors are playing 17 roles.
What?
So, yeah, they turn on a dime and there'll be somebody else with a different voice, and it's very, very funny.
Holy smokes, yeah.
All while trying to figure out who did it, kind of thing. So it's very, very good. And we love those shows where we have actors playing multiple roles because they're so good at it that the minute they swap a voice or a mannerism, you know exactly who they're playing. So it's really kind of fun, a lot of fun.
Can we take a second just talk about that? Because the actors that you guys get, talk a little about, like, they dedicated folks, right? It's incredible.
Yeah, they're all professional actors. We hold auditions every year in the fall for our shows for the summer, and they're great. We have a lot of returning actors that come back to this theater every year. People love seeing them. We've got Mel Jansen, who was in Doris and Ivy in the Home last year, and the year before that she was in Where You Are, and she'll be playing another role this year. She's very, very funny. Adrian Shepard-Gowinski is a great actor, very comedic, very funny. He'll be doing another one of our shows this year, and called Pinkerton Comes to Prospect. So we've got a lot of really good actors that come every year. We also have a lot of new actors this year too. A lot of people who have never been on stage in Port Dover, Port Colborne. So we're excited to have them this summer.
Tell me about Hidden Treasures. I see that's coming too. What is that about?
That's an interesting show. So it's Norm Foster is a very very well-known Canadian playwright. And what we've done with this show, which is kind of unique, is that we've taken 2 one-act plays that Norm wrote quite some time ago. We've kind of put them together into one show. So the first show, it's the same actors in both shows. So the first act is basically a show. You leave for intermission. During intermission, the set swaps around. And then the second act is actually a different play, same actors, but different concept. So it's and the set design is really unique so that it kind of swaps and moves. So we're not taking something down completely and putting something back up in 20 minutes kind of thing. So
what else you got this year?
We have a world premiere of Pinkerton Comes to Prospect, which is written by Jamie Williams. It's a sort of a silly spaghetti Western kind of thing. And we just had it. We did a play development festival earlier this year. and where we had 3 plays that we've been developing with playwrights, and this was one of the ones that we've been working on. And so it's premiering this summer after we're going through our play development workshop. We had readings here, and the audiences were invited to come and sort of give feedback and hear about everything beforehand. So it was a really great way to get people involved. And so, and a lot of those comments were then taken back and possibly retooled into the play that's going to be opening this summer. So it's neat that people had the opportunity to give feedback and maybe even see that feedback on stage. So this will be a really funny play. Again, all Canadian writers, Canadian cast. So it's going to be great. And the last one of the season is Norm Foster's Here on the Flight Path. So that's another unique show that he wrote a while back that we haven't done on our stage before. So we're excited to have that top off our season.
Quick question. How was last season? You guys, I know you had a very successful year. It's just, since the pandemic ended, everything's just blossoming nicely for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly like most theaters, we were in recovery mode for a while. And last summer, we were feeling very confident about everything. And so I think we're still feeling confident. So we're very lucky to have a very dedicated patron base and people who support and love what we do. And we're lucky. We're also lucky to be in towns like Port Colborne and Port Dover, which are, for all intents and purposes, very touristy towns in the summer. So we get a lot of people coming from all over the place that will come to our shows that don't live anywhere near here but are vacationing in the area. So we're very lucky to have that kind of influx of people coming in so that they can come to our theater in the summertime. And so we're still working through all those things, right? And plus now we've got to deal with tariffs and all kinds of stuff. So we're just, I think it's a great opportunity to just come into the theater and laugh. Like you can forget everything and come in here for a couple hours and just laugh your tail off. So.
And I want to ask you a little bit, because I've never been to the Port Colborne Theater. Can you tell me a bit about it? Roselawn, I believe, right?
Roselawn, yeah. It's attached to a Roselawn house, which is like an old mansion that's there. Beautiful. And it's a 228 seat theater that we have, that we work in partnership with the city of Port Colborne. So we manage it. We don't own it, whereas we own this theater and we own Simcoe Little Theater in Simcoe as well. It's a management agreement that we have with the town, and we put on. So the plays that perform in Port Dover for 3 weeks then go down to Port Colborne for 2 weeks. And while they're performing in Port Colborne, the second show starts here, and then it keeps traveling. And actually, all of our sets are made down in Port Colborne as well. They've got a large shop that we use down there. So
I didn't know that.
So they kind of truck up the highway, and then the other one gets moved back. And so our turnover weeks are just crazy for our creative staff, because they have about 3 days to take down a set, put up a new set, bring it down back to Port Colborne, put it back up. And yeah, it's crazy. And plus the stages are different sizes, so everything has to be made to fit both locations. So it's great. Port Colborne's a really beautiful town, and they've got lovely restaurants and shops, and so it's a great place to go for the day, come see a show, and go to some of our restaurant partners or retail partners as well.
I'm just curious, because I never really thought about it. What does the Lighthouse Festival Theatre hold? How many folks?
There's 347 in Port Dover and 228 in Port Colborne.
That's cool.
So, yeah, so we've got it can be a really full place when it's when everyone's in here laughing and talking. You can hear it even from our offices downstairs. When it's it's my favorite time of the year when the season is on, because all you hear is people laughing, and it's great. It feels great to be able to make people laugh and forget other things. So
I got to admit, growing up in Port Dover, when I was a kid, the theater was closed. It was non-existent. Mm-hmm. And I remember there below where your office was, it was the Ted Schultz hardware store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I used to go upstairs to buy all my hockey sticks, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I can't believe the transformation. You know what I mean? Like when I look, it was just old wooden floors and there was nothing there. And it was, what you guys have accomplished in the last 50 years is just incredible. And it's come so far. Like I remember the early days too. It was a struggle. Like those
Yeah,
I
it
think we
wasn't.
really have to appreciate what the early pioneers of bringing theater back to Port Dover did.
I mean, it takes a long time to grow a brand, and that's
Right.
really, and I think that's marketing 101, right? It's just, you can't expect to just open and boom, right? It's especially when you're doing something that takes a lot of effort and, there's an expense involved in it too. So, I mean, the idea of, there are certainly times, especially during the 80s where, oof,
Yeah.
let's try to get through the year and keep our shirts kind of thing. And that's kind of, those days are luckily over, and we're still moving forward with all of our everything that we do every year, and we're always trying to increase. And before the pandemic, it was a slam dunk, right, that people would just sell out. And you have to work more and work harder for tickets and sales than we ever have for years, but it's worth it, because I think when people come here, they really enjoy it and they have a great time.
And I think two more things, and I'll let you go. But on that note, Helen was instrumental all those years, watching her slave at the theater to bring it to where it was. I thought, you guys should probably have a little iconic statue somewhere for her. And the price is so reasonable. You guys
Yeah.
kept it like it's affordable. That's what I loved about it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we can do this. We can afford this, right?
Yeah, I mean, even our subscriptions are affordable, and everything includes taxes and all fees. So there's no sort of crazy.
Didn't
Yeah, I mean, the number of times you go somewhere and there's all these new fees tacked on, I'm like, for what, right? So,
right?
we
Because
don't do that. If it's $48, it's $48. If it's
yeah,
$52, it's $52. Like, there's nothing hidden, so you know exactly what you're getting at the end of the day.
sorry. I keep thinking more things I want to ask you. So the cross examination of who your audiences are, is it growing in different ways? Like, I mean, I know you have the young theater stuff that you guys do as well,
Mhm.
but do you see that diversification coming?
We do. I mean, it also depends on what plays we do. So I think
Right.
part of part of our programming and what we do at the theater is, we certainly we need to honor the patrons that love the shows that we typically put on. Like, we've got very dedicated Norm Foster groups, that we have very dedicated groups who are, I mean, seniors make up a very big part of our patron base, and we love having them here, and so we want to make sure that they're looked after as well for what they like to see. We also do like to push the envelope with different shows that we've done. I mean, we did a show called Bed and Breakfast back in 2023, which is also written by Mark Crawford, who wrote the New Canadian Curling Club, about two men who inherit a bed and breakfast in a small town from one of their aunts. And so it was very funny. And again, it was the two actors in it were playing multiple roles, including, one of them was a young child, one of them was a woman who owned a coffee shop, one of them was, but they certainly faced, because they were gay, they faced some resistance in town. And but and it sort of shone, there was a message to the play for sure. And so we were working on trying to get different audiences in for that. And it worked, because we sold about 400 tickets to people who had never come to our theater before. So that in itself showed that, if you put something on and you reach the right target market, people will come and see it. And so that's what we're trying to do this summer with New Canadian Curling Club. It's a comedic play, but it's got a message about, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and trying to make people feel welcome where they may typically not have before. So, and I think if you can do that with a comedic slant to it, then it doesn't feel like you're, to quote people, shoving it down their throat kind of thing. It's it might make them think a little bit more and laugh at the same time. So
I think it makes people understand better who they are and they can be. And I think
absolutely.
I love that you guys are doing that, because I'm all for that. I think that's so important, especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
We've got to stick to our guns and make sure that everybody's included. Um,
Yeah.
how do
And I
people?
also just wanted to mention one more thing too. We
Sure.
also have relaxed performances that we've been doing now for the past few years. And that's it. What it is basically, if you can think of any barrier why somebody might not be able to come to a show, that's what a relaxed performance is for. So let's just say, we have people come from community living. Some of them might shout out and not be able to control it, but we put the actors through a training program to help them ignore things that are happening in the audience, so that people who may not be able to sit through a typical show can come and enjoy it. If you have restless leg syndrome and you have to walk around, you can get up and walk around. We have the lighting raised a little bit. If people are sensitive to flashes or sounds, we make sure that if those are happening in the show, that they're muted or silenced slightly. If you want to sit away from other people because you don't feel comfortable, you can book a seat and not have anyone around you. If you're a new mother and you have a young child, typically you wouldn't be able to bring a newborn into a theater, but you can now. So, and also the cost of those shows are always lowered significantly. So if price is a barrier too, you can come see a show then. So we've been doing that now for the last few years. We had a grant through the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and the grant is finished, but we've decided to keep doing it because we call it theater for everyone. So we want everybody who thinks that they can't come because of a certain barrier can now come and see a show. So
me and you got to do a podcast on that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was thinking of, years and years ago, my wife and I worked with kids in camp who were struggling with just an assortment of issues.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that you could create something like a little play for them, they were mesmerized, right?
Yes.
And it just allows them, what you said earlier, that escape.
Yes.
And man, that's cool. I didn't know you guys did that. We're definitely going to have to talk about that. You still do afternoon shows, matinees, correct?
Yeah, matinees are our big
draw.
I think if we ever stopped doing matinees, there'd be a riot. So
well,
if we could do 2 matinees a day, they would do it.
It'd be a lunchtime riot. It'd be done by 6.
That's right. Yeah, everyone would be gone home. Yeah.
All right, give folks all the information they need. Where can they get tickets? Stop by Port Dover. Phone numbers, whatever you got, give it to us.
Yeah, so you go to the easiest way to do it is to go to our website at lighthousetheatre.com. You can get tickets there. You can see all the different shows that we're doing. You can donate to the theater, all that kind of stuff. You can call us. You can call our 800 number, which is 888-779-7703, and you can reach either box office there. So if you're looking to buy tickets in Port Colborne, you can just call that number and then it'll go to that box office. But either place can help you out, and you can always walk into our box office. They're open most days, Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 4, and I think 11:30 to 4 in Port Colborne. And then once the main season hits, it'll be open 5 days a week, and we're always open 3 hours before any show as well. So,
if you've never been there, folks, go enjoy the show. I mean, Lighthouse Festival Theatre it's a landmark in Port Dover now. It's made it's come back full, and I think it's just one of those things where you can go and have a fun afternoon or evening out. And like you said, there's lots to do in Dover. You can go for dinner. You can do whatever you want.
I mean, think you got beaches. There's ice cream shops. There's everything. You can spend a whole day here and not be bored. It's great.
That's right. Thanks for doing this, Don. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks very much.